Sometimes the greatest success stories begin at the moment when everything seems hopeless. In 2010, a young man named Jason Njoku was living in his mother's house in London, broke and defeated after 10 failed business attempts. His friends had stopped believing in him, his money was gone, and everyone thought he should give up on his entrepreneurial dreams and find a regular job. Little did anyone know that he was about to create one of Africa's most successful digital platforms and become a multi-millionaire in the process. Jason Njoku was born on December 11, 1980, in Deptford, southeast London, to Nigerian parents. Growing up in a single-parent household with his mother raising 5 children while working full-time for the National Health Service was not easy. But even as a child, Jason showed signs of the entrepreneurial spirit that would later make him famous. While other kids were playing games and watching television, Jason was already thinking about business and ways to make money. During his university years at the University of Manchester, his real education was happening outside the classroom. He was constantly coming up with business ideas and trying to turn them into reality. However, success was not immediate and failure became his constant companion. Jason started and failed at multiple businesses over several years. He tried a t-shirt printing company that never took off, launched a blog that nobody read, and started a web design company that couldn't find enough clients to stay afloat. Each failure was painful, but Jason kept pushing forward, believing that one day his persistence would pay off. By 2010, Jason had attempted 10 different business ventures, and all of them had failed. He was running out of money, out of ideas, and most importantly, out of support from friends and family who thought he was wasting his time. With no other option left, Jason moved back into his mother's house in London. Many people would see this as the ultimate sign of failure, but for Jason, it turned out to be the beginning of his greatest success story. Living with his mother, Jason began to notice something interesting. His mother loved watching Nigerian movies, but she was having a hard time finding them. The local stores in London didn't have organized collections of Nollywood films, and there was no easy way to watch these movies online. Her mother would spend hours searching for her favorite Nigerian films, often coming home disappointed when she couldn't find what she was looking for. At first, Jason saw this as just his mother's problem, but then he realized something much bigger. Jason's mother was not alone in her struggle. There were millions of Nigerians and Africans living around the world who desperately wanted to watch movies from home but had no easy way to access these films. This was a massive problem affecting millions of people, but it was also a massive opportunity. With renewed energy and purpose, Jason began researching the Nigerian film industry. He discovered that Nollywood was actually the second largest film industry in the world by volume, producing more movies than Hollywood but with very limited distribution outside Nigeria. The more he learned, the more excited he became about the potential to create a solution that could serve millions of Africans around the world. Jason knew he couldn't do this alone, so he reached out to his friend Bastian Gotter, a German entrepreneur who shared his vision for digital innovation. Together, they began working on a plan to acquire online licensing rights for Nigerian films and create a platform where people could easily watch these films. The idea was simple but revolutionary: create a Netflix-style service specifically for Nigerian and African content. In December 2011, iROKO TV was officially launched as Africa's first mainstream video-on-demand service. The platform started small, with just a few hundred movies, but Jason and Bastian had big dreams. They wanted to create something that would not only serve the African diaspora, but also help promote African culture globally. The timing was perfect because internet speeds were improving around the world and people were becoming more comfortable with watching movies online. The early days of iROKO TV were challenging but exciting. Jason and his team had to negotiate with movie producers across Nigeria to get licensing rights. Many of these producers were skeptical about putting their movies online because they were used to selling physical DVDs. Jason had to convince them that the future of entertainment was digital and that Iroko TV could help them reach audiences they never dreamed of reaching. The platform quickly gained traction, and by 2012, Iroko TV had attracted significant international attention and investment. Jason appeared on major international media outlets, sharing his story of how he went from living in his mother's house to building a multi-million-dollar company. His journey resonated with entrepreneurs around the world, especially those who had faced multiple failures before finding success. Forbes Africa recognized Jason's achievements in 2012 by including him in their list of 10 young African millionaires to watch. This recognition was particularly meaningful for Jason because it validated all the years of struggle and failure he had endured. He had proven that persistence and the ability to identify real problems could lead to extraordinary success. The success of Iroko TV went beyond just making money. Jason had created something that connected Africans around the world to their culture and heritage. Parents living in London, New York, or Toronto could now watch Nigerian movies with their children, helping to pass down cultural values and language. Young Africans growing up in foreign countries could learn about their roots through the films available on the platform. By 2013, Iroko TV was generating estimated monthly revenues of around $350,000, and the company continued to grow rapidly. Jason expanded the platform to include content from other African countries, not just Nigeria. He also developed mobile apps to make it easier for people to watch movies on their phones and tablets, understanding that many Africans access the internet primarily through mobile devices. As of recent estimates, Iroko TV has been valued at over $80 million, and Jason has become one of Africa's most successful digital entrepreneurs. However, he didn't stop with just one success. Understanding that entrepreneurship involves both wins and losses, Jason launched other ventures including Spark, an investment vehicle focused on supporting other African tech startups. Today, Jason Njoku is recognized as one of Africa's leading tech entrepreneurs and a role model for young Africans who dream of building successful businesses. His story demonstrates that failure is not the end of the road, but rather a stepping stone to success. The best business opportunities often come from solving problems that affect you personally or people close to you. Jason didn't come up with the idea for Iroko TV through market research, but by observing his mother's frustration with accessing Nigerian movies, which led him to discover a massive underserved market. Jason's journey from a failed entrepreneur living in his mother's house to a successful multi-millionaire shows us that with determination, creativity, and the willingness to learn from failure, extraordinary success is possible.